What's happening? In my life, one of the biggest things that plays a huge part in how I operate on a day-to-day basis is the power of music. And today I'm going to discuss what I like to call the playlist of my life. All the aspects of music and being that just sort of just let me feel a certain way and let me operate and let me sort of just be happy in moments, sad in moments, and how it dictates how I live. Music, to me, sometimes I could be walking with my headphones on, and sometimes I get the realization where I tell myself, you should make some effort to walk without your headphones every now and then, because you can really listen to what's around you, listen to your voice rather than other people's through their songs, and sort of let your head breathe and hear the nature around me rather than just words. But having my headphones on just allows me to sort of just reap all the enjoyment that I get from music. And it's really hard to sort of explain that feeling because of all the different genres and songs of music, it would be hard for two people to explain how they feel differently to certain songs, certain artists, and get in a certain mood. But I'm going to try and explain mine. Music to me, it's sort of it feels that reality and imagination where I'm able to sort of amplify emotion just sort of in my head quietly and think about the lyrics, the words, what the actual message of these songs are. And also sometimes I just like tapping away to the beat because it can be groovy. Over time, I've definitely had an evolving taste in music. And before, when I was younger, you're sitting in the car, you're on long drives, and a lot of the music that you absorb will be pop, chart songs. But now, obviously, sometimes I still listen to pop because it's good, and that kind of beat is familiar to me. But over time, I've yearned and reached for songs that felt more like me, more that encapsulate certain emotions and feelings where I really think about what I'm actually listening to. For me right now, I'd say my favorite genres of music are sort of like R&B and soul, and they feel like home to me. That is when I'm most in my mood, a good mood, and I gravitate to these slower tracks because they're ones that make me sort of feel like how I get attached to sort of like a spoken word poem. And with these slower tracks, they're sort of spoken but in a melody, and that's what I like about them. And lyrics matter to me. It makes me think, and I like to sort of feel what I'm actually listening to and what's being said and how it maybe could affect me in a certain way. When I'm also walking though, I don't know if anyone else feels the same, and especially with how before I deleted TikTok, but then like lots of songs will go trending on the app, and you see like edits of people, things. Sometimes I'm walking just back home from the gym, back home from my walk, and I feel like I'm in an edit, and I just sort of like I walk like I'm the man. I don't know if anyone else does this. It's probably quite weird that I do it, but I just sort of like go like, imagine I was in an edit to this song right now. It would be cold. But yeah, I've also had the sort of way of sort of I've listened to certain artists on repeat for a lot of my life, where my Spotify Wrapped for about the last 4 years have been the same artists: Chris Brown, Tory Lanez, Bryson Tiller. and some would say boring. But I've also caught myself listening to sort of like a lot of rogue artists, and especially for 2025 or the end of 2024, my taste has shifted again, and I'm listening to a lot more lesser known artists, and it's just because their themes of their music and their genre of music, I just sort of get attached. And the thing with these artists as well is that I have a massive phase where I'll listen to just them for days and weeks, and then out of nowhere I'll just listen to someone else in full again. And the thing as well is I'm not really an album listener. I'm more of just like a song enjoyer, and I don't really get hyped for any album releases apart from Bryson Tiller's last year, where I was there the minute it come out, and I tuned in. But the thing with it is that I don't even look at like the sort of the singles that they release pre-album. I sort of find enjoyment in the ones that haven't been released till the actual album's out. Exploring. I said I'm not an album listener, but you have to do a one-time listen of all the songs every now and then to sort of go, this song's a banger. I'm gonna put that on my playlist. I'm gonna listen to that tomorrow, and that's sort of how I operate. But like I said, I have phases, and the thing with these phases is that if you go in and out of artists, it's like you're creating a soundtrack for your life, and not just sort of an artist and you're enjoying it every now and then. The way I see it is that, like, when I was younger, I was the pop kid. I liked pop music, and for a lot of us, the top songs when we were all younger was Pharrell Williams and Happy, and it was like, yeah, what a banger. And like, whilst yeah, you got to respect it's a good tune, I wouldn't probably catch myself listening to it now. So all the ones I'm listening to now, they're the next step and phase in my life where I'll look back and I'll go, 2025, when I was 22, I really enjoyed these artists, and sort of reflect and go, why did I like these artists? And then you always see that when you enter then the next year, if you still find these songs as enjoyable, or if a new banger's come out, like Nokia by Drake, where you go, hold on, I will be playing that all day long. Music also holds the weight of memories, moods, and meaning, the three M's. And music isn't there just to be played in the background. It's to sort of encapsulate them three M's all into one. And a single song can take us back to a moment in our life that will never forget. And a lot of people will have that one song where maybe they'll get married, or maybe when there's a funeral and they've picked their song that they want played at their funeral, which means the most to them. And that is the best thing about music, is that we can have one song and make it ours, and no one can take that away from us, where every time we listen to that song we love it, and it's our song. And I think as well, my playlists, because I've got about 7, because I said I go in and out of artists and songs, so I've just got different ones where I'm in a certain mood. I've got a happy playlist, I've got a sad playlist, I've got an R&B playlist, I've got sort of a slower sort of chill playlist, I've got a lo-fi beats playlist. Playlists are like writing in my journal, where every track and every individual playlist says something about me that I can't really put into words. It's just a feeling that I have, enjoy, and it's sort of, if you look at my songs, that is the complete full version of me.